Hi everyone, this is Sultan with Rex Theme, and in this video I'll show you how you can generate WooCommerce product feed for Trovaprezzi. Trovaprezzi is one of the largest online marketplaces in Italy to sell electronics. To sell your products on Trovaprezzi, you simply need to generate a product feed in the right format and upload it to the Trovaprezzi marketplace. In this video, I'll show you how you can use our plugin Product Feed Manager for WooCommerce to generate a product feed for Trovaprezzi. The plugin has pre-built templates for Trovaprezzi so that you can generate a product feed in just a few clicks. So let's get started. So what you're looking at is basically the format in which you need to submit your products to trovaprezzi.it. So this is the XML format, and you can see all the attributes required for all your products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of our plugins, Product Feed Manager for WooCommerce, to generate a similar feed like this one. Now, as you can see, I already have the plugin installed and activated on my WooCommerce site. You'll find this icon and the name Product Feed on your dashboard when you have the plugin Product Feed Manager for WooCommerce installed in your WooCommerce site. So now the first thing to do is to enable Trovaprezzi as your merchant. So you need to go to Settings, and here go to the Merchants tab. Now once you're on the Merchant tab, you need to look for Trovaprezzi in this list. So what I do is I use Command F, or if it's a PC you can use Control F, and look for Trovaprezzi. And you can see once you find it, just enable this and wait for 2 seconds, and then scroll up and then go to the Controls tab and click on Purge Cache. So that's it. Now you have enabled Trovaprezzi as a merchant to generate feed. So now let us generate a product feed for Trovaprezzi. Just go to Add New Feed. So once you click on that, it is going to take you into a new feed creation page. First let us give it a name. So let's say I'll name it Trova1. Okay. Now let us look at the basic options. Here you need to choose if you want to generate feed for all of your products, or if you want, you can choose some filters to include only a few products in the feed. Next is the refresh interval. This one decides if you want to auto update your feed based on changes you make on your site. So if you choose hourly, your feed will be updated every hour. If you choose daily, your feed will be updated every day. So let's keep it as no interval for now. Next is include variable pan product. This option is not necessary for Trovaprezzi, so I'm just gonna keep it as no. Include product variations. You mark it as yes, because each of the variants of any variable product of your store will be included in Trovaprezzi as a separate feed. So you need to mark it as yes. And then include variation product name. In case you want to include the variation term in the product name, you can mark this as yes, but it's not mandatory. But sometimes it's wise to include that. So if you want, you can mark it as yes. I'm just going to keep it no for now. Then is include parent product, group product. If you have group products, you can include that as a parent product in the feed. If you have invisible or hidden products, if you want, you can exclude them from the feed, but I'm just going to include them. Next is the analytics parameter. If you want to add UTM parameters to the links of your products in the feed, you can use this feature. So now comes the part where you generate the feed. First, choose the merchant type as Trovaprezzi. So once you select that, you'll see that there will be a lot of attributes over here. Those are the mandatory attributes to submit your products on Trovaprezzi. So you can see most of these attributes are already configured. The product name is assigned with product title from your WooCommerce store. The code will be the product ID from your WooCommerce store, and so on. Now there are a few things that you need to configure on your own. For example, you need to configure the shipping cost, the brand name, EN code, part number, weight, and sometimes the stock. So let me explain how to configure them. The shipping cost, here you just input the value of the shipping cost. If you provide free shipping, you can input 0 here, or if you have some other shipping cost, if it's a fixed cost, you just input it as static. If it's not a fixed cost, if it's a dynamic cost, you need to somehow save that cost in a custom field in your product, and then choose attribute and use that value over here. So for now, I'm just going to use 0 to indicate that it's a free shipping. For the brand, you can input a static brand if you're the sole manufacturer, or you can add them in a custom field in your products and use that value here. So I'm just going to use my company here to indicate that I'm the sole manufacturer. The EN code is basically the EAN for each and every product, and this is usually unique for all products. So what you have to do, you need to save this in a custom field for all of your products in WooCommerce, and then you can use that value here. So WooCommerce by default does not have an option to include EAN code, but the good thing is our plugin comes with custom fields where you can include the EAN code or brand or the part number and then use them in the feed. I'll be showing how to use that in a few bit. Let me just explain the rest. The part number is basically the MPN. You can either use the product SKU for this, or you can use the actual part number of the product. So WooCommerce doesn't have a default field to add the part number separately, so you can use the custom field from our plugin. The weight, you have to include the weight of the product in your WooCommerce store, and then you can use that value here. The stock is basically the number of products available in stock. So if you manage stock in your WooCommerce store, you can choose this as attribute and the value as quantity. But if you do not manage the stock in your WooCommerce store, then in that case it's better to somehow include that value in some custom field and then use that value. Alright, so now let me just show you how you can use the custom fields to include the EAN code and part number. Here is the edit mode of one of my products. This is a variable product. So for the brand, you'll find the custom field for the brand in WPFM custom fields. If you include a brand here, you can use this value. For the others, you need to go to each variant. So I'm just going to the variations, and you can see I have two variations. Let me just go into one, and here you'll see there are a lot of unique product identifiers. These are all custom fields generated by our plugin if you enable it in the settings. I've already enabled that, and here you can see that I've inputted a product EAN. So this is something I can use in my feed. Let me show you how. So here for the EAN code, you have to choose the type as attribute and the value as WPFM EAN. Okay, so this is what's gonna pull that value EAN code that I just showed you in the product. Let me just show it to you again. This is my product page, and once I went to the variation, there is this custom fields here. For the EAN, I've inputted this value. This is the value I'm going to use in my feed as the EAN code of this product in the feed. You can see for the second variation, I also have those fields and I have a different EAN code there. Alright, so since EAN codes and MPNs are unique, it's best to use these custom fields. Alright, so now let me go back to the feed. Next, for the part number, as I said, you can either use SKU or you can use our custom fields to input the MPN. So I'll just choose to use the SKU. Okay, now for the weight, you need to input the weight inside the product. So let me show you how. You can see this is one variant, and here you have this option called weight. You can input the weight value here, and then in the feed you can choose the value weight over here, and this is gonna pull the value of the weight. Now what I showed you here is basically a variable product. For a simple product, it's much easier. Let me just show it to you with one of my simple products. So this is another product in my store, which is actually a simple product, not a variable product. As you can see here, if I go to WPFM custom fields, I have these custom fields here for the EAN, MPN, the brand. All of these are within this menu. As you remember, for the variable product, the other custom fields are within variations because they should be unique for each variant, right? And here in the variable product, the weight is placed within each variant. But for the simple product, if I moved into the simple product, you'll find it under shipping where you can add the weight. All right. And if you want to manage stock, you can do that within WooCommerce. As you know, for a simple product, it's under the inventory menu. For a variable product, you can also get it under inventory, or you can get it under each variant. So once you have configured the values properly, let me go back to the feed creation. Here I've assigned the values accordingly. As I've shown you, I've used the custom field of my plugin. For that, what I did was I chose the type as attribute from here, and I chose the value as WPFM product EAN. If you choose to use some other custom fields such as MPN for the part number, you'll have to use this value. So since I didn't use the MPN for my custom fields, I'd rather use the SKU. I don't need that. For the weight, if I've inputted the weight in my WooCommerce store, just choosing the value as weight here is gonna pull the value. For stock, I choose quantity because I'm managing stock and I have stock mentioned within my store. If I don't have that, I'll have to manually assign them in some custom field and use them here. So now that all my attributes are configured properly, the next thing to do is to generate the product feed. So scroll up and click on publish, and you can see once you click on publish, there will be a progress bar which will indicate the process of generating feed. And once it's completed, the page will reload, and on the right side you'll get an option called feed URL. So here, if you click on view feed, you'll be able to view the feed on a new tab. So let me click on that, and there you go. As you can see, the feed has been generated in the same format as required by trovaprezzi.it, and it has all the required attributes that you need to submit to upload your products to Trovaprezzi. So that's it. That's how easy it is to generate the feed for Trovaprezzi. Anyhow, if you find any issues in configuring the feed, or if you get confused with the plugin at any point, you can always knock us in our support. Our support team is really active, and we're willing to help you to use the plugin as easily as possible. All right. So that's it for this video. That's how easily you can generate a WooCommerce product feed for Trovaprezzi using Product Feed Manager for WooCommerce. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in one of my next videos. Take care.